these two gentlemen represent a portion of, along with Stan Jackson, a portion of the St. Elizabeth's development team. Another portion, Grant Cardona Partnership. They were here earlier, they had to leave. So I just want to ask them to share a few remarks in reference to their intention and vision and some of the efforts that's already in place to be a part of what the council members laid out today. The next voice you will hear will be one other guest, and then the council members will close us out.
So good afternoon. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, it's time. It's time because I see a lot of friends and partners. I know we're doing the right thing because I see a lot of people that we're working with. And it's a wonderful day. What we're doing is really quite straightforward. We're the master developer in St. Elizabeth's. We're also developing the Columbian Quarter. Some of you know that as a development on Howard Road at Top Point, and named the Columbian Quarter. And we are hopeful in the fall to have that approved for many buildings that are going to be very important for the community for decades. So a lot of work here. We started engaging the community really early on. We found a lot of great companies, great people. And one message today for some of the people that are in my business, doesn't have to be in the ward either. You're in the ward, you're doing business. There are lots of great businesses that can go wherever other businesses go in the region. It's important then, once you get to know different companies, if you're not doing construction this year, but you got something somewhere else in the city, give people a chance in neighborhoods that you're going to be going into, especially newer neighborhoods that you haven't been in before. Because then you get to know them, then you won't be afraid if there's a $20 million contract. You haven't worked with the people before, so you got to give it a start. And we've been doing a lot of that. We've been listening to Tom and council member, and his leadership is the real thing. I mean, it's the real thing, and it's infectious when you see it. Two more thoughts very quickly just to leave you with. A third of the new job growth in the District of Columbia is east of the river. Now, I know some of us don't like east of the river, it's just sort of a geography thing. Third, most of that is Ward 8. 1/3 of the new job growth for the next 4 years, right here. That's about 14,000 jobs. That's not Louis Dubin or someone else making it up or pointing at it. This is all coming at DHS. About 4,000 of the 18,000 are already there with the Coast Guard. And the next section of jobs with Homeland Security, I heard some people in the cyber and the IT world, oh my gosh, you can't believe the contractors that are starting to talk with us. I had the great honor with the council member to spend some time with Homeland Security. We're getting them on the local workforce, March also. It's something we all need to do. It's something we all need to push. It's extremely important. And I want to challenge everyone in here that has a business today. We'd like in the next month for your organization, I already talked with another one of your partners in the organization, let's do 2 internships. We'll give the transit, we'll pay them, kind of a wage. Let's get 2 high school kids that are coming to work at Red Brick. We can figure out whether it's 3 days, 5 days, we can work with them. But 2 kids that want to learn how to build buildings. So we're committed to do that immediately. My challenge is, everyone who's in a business that can give an internship, go do it. Make commitments, go see Tom. That's how you're going to change things. It's by action. So my partner, Dwayne Miller, who is going to be responsible for about $50 million in construction, starting, and this is in Ward 8, at St. Elizabeth's, starting in February, March? Probably March. So this is the man. And Dwayne?
Yep. So my background, I actually used to work for a community development corporation, so I came from the not-for-profit sector, was a youth minister, loved Jesus, really cared about the youth. Actually, 25 years ago, just got involved with coming up with an idea of how to take dropout youth, get them back into school. And we as a CDC were just building houses, right? So we'd take a couple houses, connect with the high school, come up with curriculum, and half their time working on building a house and half the time actually getting education. Well, that program ended up, it was a pilot program out of Boston, out of Gary, Indiana, and Indianapolis, Indiana, and it's out of that youth build came out of. So I've been around creating investments in people I'm an accountant by trade, but I just leveraged, so eventually 18 years ago, I hired Flaherty & Collins to manage our portfolio as a not-for-profit, but then they hired me, and so ever since then, I've been just leveraging the real estate of Flaherty & Collins to pull off 35, 40 deals, creating jobs, opportunities for those that are in need, and bringing the jobs to the local area. So that's the background of who I am. That's going to be working with Stan. I've worked with Stan for 3 years now. We're in the ward at the office every other week, or almost every week now, because we're really pushing hard to close on the financing of St. Elizabeth on the 252 units of multifamily. It's 350 square feet. It's a big monster, but we pulled together public-private dollars through this tax credit with historic tax credits as well as affordable housing.
And
So-
Dwayne, if I may say, one of the most incredible things, 250 units, 80% are affordable. You heard me. 80% affordable, 20% market. It was appropriate. It was right in the 3 different bands, the 30, 50, and 80. So, I mean, this is the real thing. It's all coming, and that starts actual reconstruction, repurposing in March.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.